Hello, my name is Wayne Alexander, and today we're going to be taking a look at one of the new functionalities in CRM 2013, which is routing rules. Um, Routing rules basically allow users to define the rules that will route a case to either queues, users, or teams based on certain conditions. For example, a customer who has Premier support um, can be routed to their case can be routed to a Premier support queue. Now, when creating these routing rules, you simply have to define the condition that you want, and then choose where you actually want to route the case to. Point to note, now this routing rule functionality at present is currently limited only to the case entity. Okay, so let's take a look at the routing rule set. So all I'm going to do is just navigate over to the settings area of CRM. And from within the setting area, I'm just going to go ahead and select service management and then routing rule sets. A routing rule set, I'll just go ahead and click on new here, is think of it as a parent record for all of the routing rule items. Routing rule items is where you add your condition and tell the system where you want to actually route the case to. The routing rule set is the parent of that. So I'm just going to give my routing rule set a name. I'll just call that sorcery routing. I could put a short description in there if I wanted to. You'll notice you have the rule items here. Can't add any at the moment simply because the record hasn't been saved yet. So I'm just going to go ahead and save my routing rule set, and then I could click on the plus icon to add my first rule item. Now what I did was I customized the account and contact entity to have an option set called premium support, yes or no. If premium support is set to yes, it obviously means they have premium support. If it's set to no, it doesn't. So I'm going to create some rule items based on that customization. And the first rule item I'm going to create is called Premier support. I can add a description in there if I want to. If I scroll down, I'm going to add my condition, and I'm going to basically say if the case's customer account Premier support equals to yes. Let's go ahead and populate those. I'm going to do exactly the same thing, but this time for contact, customer contact Premier support equals to yes. Of course, what I'll make sure to do is to just go ahead and add an or condition in there. So we've added our condition. If I just scroll down slightly, last thing we had to do is tell the system where to route the case to based on this condition. Now you'll notice by default it's set to queue, so it says add queue. If I was to change that to user or team, the lookup would point to user or team. We're going to leave it on a queue. I'm going to click on the lookup, and I'm going to select Premier support. And all I'll simply do is save and close that rule item. I'm going to just do that 2 more times. I'm going to create a rule item called standard support. And again, I'm going to go back to my condition. I'm going to say if the customer account Premier support equals to, this time I'm going to say no. So in other words, if they don't have premium support, then I'm going to stick them in the standard support queue instead. So premium support equals to no. Make sure, of course, to add my or condition. There's my group or, and I'm going to route this one to, just type in here, standard support, and save and close. Just going to add one final rule item, and I just wanted to make the point that when you're creating these rule items, you don't actually have to add a condition. And if you don't add a condition, think of it as a fail-safe rule item, a backup one, if you will. Where in other words, if the other rule items are not applicable, then this one certainly would be, because no condition's been added to it. So I'm gonna just call this rule item assign to me. I'm not going to add any condition to this one, and I'm going to route this one to user. If I click on the lookup, select myself, and save and close. So what you see here is actually 3 rule items for this particular routing rule set. Now, there's no limit on the amount of rule items that you can have. It's very important, however, the order in which these rule items are laid out, because what would happen is when you basically call upon this routing rule set, the system will go through each of these rule items in turn. So it's very important the order in which they're laid out. If you want to change the order, you can simply select the rule item and move up and down using the arrows. Okay, so we've created our rule items for this particular rule set. One final thing we have to do, which is activate our routing rule set. Just going to click activate here. Regarding activating rule sets, you can only have one rule set activated at any given time. It's very important. So if I was to go ahead and create a new rule set and I was to activate it, by default the system would automatically deactivate any rule set that's the other rule set, in other words, that is currently active. So you can only have one rule set active at any given time. Okay, finally, let's just take a look at this in action. So I'm just going to navigate over to the service area of CRM. Going to jump into cases. Okay, and we're just going to quickly create a new case. Just going to type in here. Click on new case, and as a matter of fact, I'll pick a customer who has no Premier support. So let me just type in here the customer's name. Fantastic. I'll just call the title no Prem support. Go ahead and hit save to save that case record. You'll notice new icon here in the case ribbon, which is apply routing rule. I'm going to go ahead and select that and then click apply. Now what the system will do is it will go away, take a look at Maria's contact record. If Premier support is set to no, then it should route this case to a standard support queue. So let's just go back in there, see what we have. Okay, I'll just use the quick search here to bring that up. There you go, no Prem support. Open back up that case record. And what I'll just do here is go to queue item details, and this should have actually been routed to the support queue, the standard support queue I should say. And there you go, it's been routed to the standard support queue. So what we just done there was we just created our routing rule set. We created the rule items which where we can define the conditions and where the case gets routed to, and then we just went through a quick scenario, showed a quick example of how that's working in everyday life. Thank you.